Weaponized gas. No, not an unconventional asphyxiant, but the one you might use to cook or keep the house warm. Now it's in the epicenter of the row between Russia, Europe and the US. The EU says Moscow is shaking down the bloc.
Gazprom's announcement that it is unilaterally stopping gas deliveries to certain EU member states is another provocation from the Kremlin. But it comes as no surprise that the Kremlin uses fossil fuels to try to blackmail us.
Back in March, in response to the EU's aggressive sanctions, Russia announced a key change in how the bloc will have to start paying for gas. In short, in rubles. In detail, the customer now has to open two accounts in a Russian bank, one in euros, the other in rubles. The payment comes into the first account, then the bank converts euros into rubles and transfers them into the second. Multiple experts have said that for the EU, the change is negligible. But it's now the US that's going out of its way to blow this out of proportion.
We're working with other nations like Korea, Japan, Qatar, and others to support our effort to help European allies threatened by Russia with gas, blackmail, and their energy needs in other ways.
Oh, well, look who's talking. Washington surely knows everything about weaponizing energy resources because the US has actually been doing it for years. Like when it tried to get Europe hooked on America's much more expensive LNG because it's supposedly freedom gas.
The United States is again delivering a form of freedom to the European continent. And rather than in the form of young American soldiers, it's in the form of liquefied natural gas.
A shift like that for Europe would have been equal to shooting the kneecaps off its own economy. But for Uncle Sam, there's no place for sentiment when it comes to making the big bucks. Same goes for the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline project from Russia to Germany, when the US stopped just short of sanctioning its own allies to derail the construction.
Today, I have directed my administration to impose sanctions on Nord Stream 2 AG and its corporate officers. These steps are another piece of our initial tranche of sanctions in response to Russia's actions in Ukraine.
The pipeline could have easily tamed the ridiculously high gas prices and helped Europe with its energy crisis. But trying to tackle Russia is surely much more fundamental on America's pyramid of needs.
The actions we've taken to date have already had a devastating impact on the Russian economy.
And even if Europe goes down with it, well, so be it. For years, the US has been turning oil and gas into a weapon of mass economic destruction, and so have some of Western allies, but all at their own expense.
We've seen new proposals from Brussels. The IEA, the International Energy Lobby, is putting forward a 10-point plan to break the EU away from dependency on Russian energy. Some of the ideas are quite sensible, others are pretty ludicrous, like people reducing the thermostats in their heating systems by 1 degree. But all of this is very much a theory, very much what the EU does well, which is basically come up with ideas and produce papers and create committees. But we're a very, very long way from anything really happening. So I don't see any real changes very quickly, other than more division politically, which makes the EU look weaker every day.